let's see what are the challenges the automobile industry is facing. Not automobile industry, the engineers, researchers who are working in this area. What are the challenges? And we will just see how the emissions are formed. We have little bit touch upon, and how we control the pollution from the engines. We will discuss different technique. In that technique, we will touch upon the lean burn concept, EGR control strategy, and advancement in EGR technology. And we have another part, if time permit, I will touch upon DPF, diesel particulate filter, and regeneration of the diesel particulate filters. This is the norms. DPF is not being used in India now, but after 1 year, in 2015, we may use. This is advanced technology. If you want to know that, I will show you some slide about that new technology which will come in India after 2 years. Norms, this all we know, right? Now let first, suppose I have a fever, so I should understand the cause of fever. Only then I can take the countermeasure, right?
Yes, sir.
You will be surprised, like in India, whenever you are going to doctor, sir, मेरे को headache है, आप क्या करेंगे? Disprin या जो भी है, वो गोली लेके. It is okay, but that is not the correct approach. The correct approach is you should try to understand what is the cause behind the headache. What is the reason? If you know the reason, then you remove the reason. You will be fine, right? What is the root cause? Similarly, in engineering, if I know the root cause of the problem, why hydrocarbon emissions are formed, why NOx is formed, then I can take the necessary countermeasure. So let me discuss about the hydrocarbon formation. Generally what happens in spark ignition engine, flame is propagating, right? So near the cylinder valves and near the cylinder valves and near the piston rings area, the temperature is low. And when the flame reaches there, the fuel and air vapors which are lying there, when the flame is reaching there, it quenches. Flame is not able to reach up to that, or there is a narrow passage in the piston rings area. So there flame cannot travel. So there you have the unburnt hydrocarbons. That is the main reason. In the top land area, in the top rings and between the piston, that space is there. That is a area where HC is formed. It means during designing of the piston and piston rings, top ring where I have to put, I can decide that the top land height should be minimum as less as possible. Secondly, suppose I am designing a surface cc of 300 cc. So to design a 300 cc engine per cylinder, if it is a 4 cylinder 1.2 liter, I can choose what is the surface to volume area. For a given volume, I can have such a shape that my surface area is minimum, because more the surface area, more will be the quenching effect. So that is the design aspect. So surface area to volume relationship in combustion chamber design. Then richer air fuel ratio. If your mixture is very rich or very lean, you will have the hydrocarbon formation. Then there is some part which we will touch upon, that is a ignition energy also. If we are not giving the appropriate amount of ignition energy, that will also leads to unburned. So these are the few reasons. Similarly, now we come to know why NOx is formed. NOx formation take place when the cylinder peak pressure is and temperature are very high, especially temperature. Now I should know at what temperature NOx is formed. So we have done a lot of experiment and all that, and generally it is an idea, it may be plus minus 100 degrees Celsius, but around 1350 degrees Celsius in the combustion chamber. When this temperature reaches, NOx is produced. It means if I, by some technique, I do not allow the temperature to increase beyond 300, NOx will not form.
Is it 300 or 135?
1350, 1350. And it is approximation because even measurement technique and all that, it may be 1400. You can have a error of plus minus 100 degrees Celsius, but definitely we can say it is above 1200 or 1250. Higher the temperature, higher the NOx. So it is clear, and these are the two most critical for the emission point of view. CO is not a problem, much problem, because I can maintain the slightly lean mixer. Now, what I should do to control this? In automobiles, what we are doing, have you heard this manifold coupled catalyst? Now, when HC is formed because of the quenching effect, when the cylinder voltage, it means when we are starting the engine in the morning, at that time hydrocarbon formation will be more. Agree? Right. Now, and every time in the morning I have to start the engine. So now I give you a data. Hydrocarbon emissions, you know, we are doing it, measure the emissions during a driving cycle. I will discuss after lunch the driving cycle. What are these driving cycles? It means we have to drive the car on the chassis dynamometer under certain gear and speed conditions, right? And that driving cycle is of around maybe 12 minutes or so. When we are trying to reduce the hydrocarbon emissions from the engine during cold period, engine is cold, even the catalytic converter is not capable to convert the emissions during the cold conditions, right? So the important thing is where I have to fit the catalytic converter. Till Euro 3 we are putting the underbody, but till Euro 3 the regulation says you can start the vehicle and wait for 80 seconds. Measurement of emissions will start only after 80 seconds. It means there is a time to warm up your engines. Euro 4 say no excuse sir, no 80 seconds, because practically when you are driving the car your emissions are coming out. It means emissions will be measured as soon as you start the car. It means that 40 seconds is totally cut off. It means emissions regulation become more stringent. At the same time, level is also reduced. Then OEM and manufacturer, they think what should be done. So what they have done to address this issue, earlier we were using an oxygen sensor without heater. Oxygen sensor will also start giving the signal when the certain temperature is achieved. But when you are firing the engine, it takes some time, few seconds, maybe 20 seconds to reach that temperatures. So we are using the heated oxygen sensor. It means when you start the car, immediately the current will flow across the oxygen sensor, and oxygen sensor start giving the signal immediately as soon as you fire the engine. Number one. What I do with the catalytic converter? The light off temperature is more than 300 degrees Celsius. 300 degrees Celsius temperature may take few seconds. Then we analyze, we are shifted the catalytic converter from the underbody to in the exhaust manifold. Exhaust manifold is integrated along with the catalytic converter, and it depends upon the emissions, like what size of the catalytic converter I use in the manifold, exhaust manifold, and what is the size I use in the underbody. This we call manifold coupled catalyst. Earlier manifold were of the cast iron, but now we have converted that into sheet metal also, so that you can trap more heat. So that is another changes which has been done when we have converted the vehicle from Euro 3 to Euro 4. Right. Oxygen sensor was converted from normal to heated oxygen sensor, and catalytic converter has been placed. This is to avoid the hydrocarbon emissions during the cold conditions. 80% hydrocarbon emissions are produced during driving cycle in the earlier 80 seconds only. There is no hydrocarbon emissions after 80 seconds, negligible. But when you crank the engine, 80%, because driving cycle is, that I will discuss the driving cycle. Driving cycle is supposed for around 1200 seconds. So only 80 seconds are more critical for HC emissions point of view. Then optimize start and warm up control. Cranking. You know how much time it takes to fire the engine? There is a regulation for that also. When I start the engine, when I crank the engine, I should be able to fire the engine within 800 millisecond. Within 800 millisecond. It means less than 1 second. If I am not able to start the engine in less than 1 second, it means more and more cranking, more and more hydrocarbon emissions. Right? Then it comes to the ignition timing optimization. Warm up should be quick, faster, so that hydrocarbon emissions are less. Ignition timing, earlier we have a tolerance of 1 degree. Timing may be for 8 degree, 9 degree, 10 degree, 12 degree. But then we have gone further narrow down. We can achieve 8.1, 8.2, 8.3, 8.4. So more precise control over the ignition timing. Lean burn concept, again that we will discuss, that we can reduce the NOx emissions, especially in CNG engine. We are using a lambda of 1.4. NOx emissions is totally reduced. EGR. EGR is a technique, as we have discussed, for NOx reduction. We are recirculating the exhaust gases into the combustion chamber to reduce the peak temperature. Now, another concept to reduce the emission is we can use the alternate fuel like CNG. CO will be reduced, CO2 will be reduced, hydrocarbon will be reduced, but with CNG, because of the lower flame speed, NOx is increasing. Right? So we can reduce the NOx by using a lambda around 1.5. It means lean mixture. But when we are making the air fuel ratio lean, ignition is difficult. So there we need high energy ignition system. A normal ignition system have a energy of 28 millijoules. But when you are using lean mixture, we can use a energy level of 45 to 60 millijoules. Now we will discuss about the EGR system. This is the EGR which you are talking. Like here, EGR stands for exhaust gas recirculation. Right? Now I can circulate the hot exhaust gases. Those are called hot EGR. I can circulate the cold gases, means I take the gases, then cool down and then recirculate that. That is more effective from NOx point of reduction. But then you have to put a intercooler in between. So it depends how much NOx is there and how much you want to reduce. Right? So there are two types of EGR. One is hot, another is cold EGR. You remember this. Hot EGR reduce the NOx say by 60%, cold EGR by 80%. I am just giving an example, comparison. Cold EGR reduce the NOx much higher, at much lower value rather than the hot EGR. In cold EGR, the temperature, hot EGR temperature may be around 300 degrees Celsius. That temperature we have to bring down to around 180. At 180 we circulate the hot gases to the engine. So that is called is cold EGR. Otherwise exhaust temperature is around 300, 400, it may be 500 depending upon the load and speed conditions.
So इससे हाइड्रोकार्बन नहीं बढ़ेगा, फिर quench नहीं बढ़ेगा.
Cold EGR, the temperature is not 100 or 120. That's why the temperature is optimized at one, because how we arrived at 180. Why not 100? Why not 120? So you have optimized that you have a balance to that. Now this is the system. Now in this there is a, from the, you can see the exhaust from the engine. This exhaust is coming. Now this is the exhaust, right? Exhausts are coming, and this is the exhaust manifold. Now from anywhere I make a tap, and this exhaust gases I am passing through a EGR cooler, and then EGR tube, and this is a EGR valve which control the amount of EGR which is to be recirculated, because you cannot send unlimited amount of EGR. How much? 5%, 7%, 10%, 15%, 20%. That is again a calibration and optimization technique. Because I will start from 5%, step by step I increase, I measure the NOx, where NOx is reduced, because EGR has the adverse effect also. EGR will reduce the power of the engine, increase the fuel consumption. So I have to balance both the things. My engine power should not be reduced significantly, and NOx I am able to reduce. So here you have EGR valve. Now from EGR then it goes to intake system and back to the engine. So here this mixing takes place to and fro, and we are getting. Now this EGR valve is of different type. This is here is diaphragm type. So it needs vacuum. As vacuum is there, the diaphragm is movement take place. So valve is connected with the diaphragm. This one, right? Clear? More vacuum, it will allow more, so for this in the engine we have to add a vacuum pump also, because in diesel engine otherwise there is no vacuum, because there is no throttle in diesel engine. Then you have a ECU. What happens? ECU will get the feedback. What is the speed of the engine? What is the temperature? What is the load of the engine? And accordingly, it will regulate the vacuum, and consequently, EGR valve operation is changed. EGR valve technology status. Pneumatic type EGR valve, as I have discussed. Then we have electrical type EGR also. Here we have a solenoid. And when you supply the electricity, it on or off. You can see the electric EGR valve is the valve seats, and then spring we have, this is the plunger. So when it is simple solenoid valve, like when the current is supplied, it is magnetized and it will open the passage of this. The duration during which the current is supplied, that you can control the lift of the valve. This is a pneumatic EGR valve, similar, but that force is provided by the vacuum. Now, as I am discussing how much temperature is to be reduced and how to be reduced, then we do the CFD analysis. In steady state, it is a sort of heat transfer of electricity for high temperature, above than 500. If the exhaust temperature are, we have considered 500. Selection of oil seal temperature and performance study of EGR valve through simulation. Now this is the velocity vector. The ANSYS software has been used for this analysis, and we can see what is the pattern of the velocity of the EGR and what will be the temperature. This is the velocity pattern. What is the, and velocity vector is given here on the scale. Red is around 3.2 and below it is yellow 1.6. So this contour you can see. So that study has been done. Velocity contour in electrical EGR valve. Then temperature. This is very critical because the valve sheet, they should be capable to withstand that high temperature. So what is the temperature? So this is again, temperature range is defined through simulation, and accordingly we can select the material and we can optimize the size of the EGR valve also.
So what is the material of the valve?
Generally we use stainless steel, some special grade which are confidential from design point of view, but it is SS grade. Then EGR cooler. It is a simple heat exchanger. Like you are supplying the hot gases on one side and taking and circulating the water, engine water only, coolant in, coolant out, exhaust gases in, exhaust gases out. So you have to optimize how many number of tubes, you have to provide what is the diameter of the tube and all that. So this is a, but it looks very simple, but there is no company in India who is manufacturing, who is able to manufacture this. With the tubes, these are stainless steel tube, and the welding of this, and because in the exhaust gases there is some other SO2 and these are there, they cause acidic nature, corrosion may take place in this, and 100% guarantee of the sealability there. And the special welding and brazing has been used in this. So that technique is not available. So only there are few companies of the German and UK, they are doing this job. So when we go actually in the field, then we realize that heat exchanger, if you go through in the books, it is simple tube, this, but when you go in manufacturing, it is a different thing. I tell you, like suppose if I am going to change a bolt in an engine, I am not changing the size, only I am making a from yellow passivation to green or green to yellow passivation. Passivation, you understand? We are doing the coating on the bolt, okay? That bolt change in the engine, minimum changeover period is, to analyze, 6 months. I cannot implement that before 6 months. And if there is a, if I am modifying something in the piston, it take me minimum 1 year to implement that. If today I start, so suppose I have done okay, the piston shape I am changing this to this slightly, so it will take minimum 1 year. So when we are doing the small change, how much effort goes in? I will design that piston, I will get prototype, we will assemble the engine, and that engine will be tested for 1000 hours on the engine dynamometer, and then I have to dismantle the engine, and then we have to take back, and then I have to analyze the piston, each and every details in very minutely. what is the wear and tear, what is the deposit, what is the oil consumption, and it looks simple. It needs minimum 1 year. After 1 year only I can implement that change. Because this small change may, and I don't know whether you know or not, there are 4 categories of parts in automobile industry. One is non-functional parts, like sheet metal and all that, nut bolt is not, they are a little bit aesthetic and don't have much functional requirement. Another is the functional parts, pulley, belt and all that, you know. If that is not working, your engine will not work. So that is also okay. We give some attention to that. One category is Marue part. In drawing we put circle and A in red. That means this is critical part, and the failure of this part may cause death or severe accident. So no compromise on that. And any change in such parts may take 2 to 3 years. Fourth category is emissions regulated part. Suppose once I had selected the injector or oxygen sensor, I cannot change that, because any change in that may affect the emissions. This is the homologation requirement. So when we are producing for the customer, it is not an easy task, it is very complex. मारुए पार्ट्स में जैसे ब्रेक सिस्टम है, अब ब्रेक की लाइनिंग उतर गया आपने सडन, या ब्रेक फेल हो गए आपके, यू आर रनिंग एट 120 किलोमीटर, व्हाट विल हैपन? All 4-5 people, truck is coming and you will bombard in it, what will happen? As an engineer, what is? So these are the, so engineer when this thappa is there on the drawing, वो चालू में नहीं देखेगा उसको, नहीं तो ऐसे ना, हाँ ड्राइंग है, चल यार ये भी ठीक है, ये चल साइन कर दिया, अप्रूव कर दिया, ओके. You will study each in details. That is the indication of Marue. Functional part, sheet metal part है, थोड़ा सा मूड भी नहीं है ठीक, तब भी काम कर सकता है. But when Marue drawing are there, when he has to do that designing, every, starting from the engineer, manager, GM, every person, when he will see, okay, this is a Marue, उसके कान खड़े हो जाते हैं. नहीं तो इट इज अ क्वेश्चन ऑफ आपकी और मेरी सेफ्टी का सवाल है ना, नहीं तो नो बॉडी कैन कंप्रोमाइज ऑन दैट. फ्यूल लाइन्स है, पेट्रोल लाइन्स, कहीं से पेट्रोल लीक कर गया मान लो, व्हाट विल हैपन? फायर. So these are more. So there are 4 category. Marue, safety, we call it safety item also. Functional parts which play in performance. Non-functional parts, sheet metal and all that. वो हम ना कोई हल्के इंजीनियर होते हैं उनको दे देते हैं, चल भैया तू कर ले ये काम. तो even the very good engineer has been even in the company, like this type of stuff is there ना. कई सिपारसी भी आ जाते हैं, इंजीनियर अच्छी कंपनियों में भी आ जाते हैं, ठीक है ना, तो उसको काम तो आता नहीं, उसको मारूए तो नहीं देंगे, वो कहेंगे भैया तू सीट मेटल के पार्ट ले ले, ये नट बोल्ट दे देंगे उसको, ठीक है. जो अच्छा सिंसियर डेडिकेटेड बंदा होगा उसको क्रिटिकल पार्ट देंगे. मतलब ऐसे हाउ वी एलोकेट द टास्क. This is the part looks like. This is the actual part I am showing so that you can feel a. Yeah. No, this is the actually fitted in the engine, complete EGR system. You see, this is the EGR cooler. ठीक है, ये water connection है. This is the water connection, in and out. EGR one side से EGR coming, then it is passing through, and this is the EGR valve. ये आपका इलेक्ट्रिकल टाइप है, यहाँ से इसको कंट्रोल करते हैं. सो दिस कट सेक्शन इज फ्रॉम द स्विफ्ट इंजन, स्विफ्ट कार, डीजल स्विफ्ट. अनदर व्यू द सेम, EGR cooler of Swift, and Now this is the engine, you can see, same engine. It is a 1.3 liter engine and it is very popular engine. Swift is, you know, we are making around 20,000 cars every month, Maruti making. And same engine is being used in other model also. Now, this is the part. Now, to operate this, I told you we need a ECU. When to open, when to close, how much to open, how much. It is the intelligence. The intelligence is supplied by the EGR controller. It is a microcontroller, open loop type and closed loop type. Like here, there is no feedback. Based on the open loop, it gives the signal and EGR is operated. It is a on-off type. So we have a ECU, we have a sensor from the engine, generally it can be taken from the alternator, and then we have vacuum switching valve and EGR. So it is a very simple system. Closed loop is taking the feedback. If suppose it says you open 20%, it is not opening 20%, it has opened 22%. So there is a corrective feedback. So it will make it 20. In open loop, it may be 22, 23, 18, there is no feedback. Correction action is not being taken. Now, important thing is when to send the EGR to the engine and how much. Because as soon as I am adding the EGR, your air fuel ratio is changing, your temperature is changing. So all these things, optimum EGR rate and air fuel ratio must be maintained under all operating conditions. So this require a lot of matching and control strategy. Even turbo matching is also necessary at this stage. Now I will give you some tips when to supply the EGR to the engine. Generally EGR we should not supply during acceleration condition. When you are accelerating, when you are overtaking the car or any vehicle, you shut off the EGR supply, because during acceleration you need more power and EGR circulation will kill the power. So that is one thing. As a designer, you make a strategy, okay, when I am accelerating, no EGR. Now significant reduction in EGR, desirable near full load condition. Near full load condition means I want more power. So at that time, we have to either completely cut off or minimize the EGR level so that power is not reduced significantly. During idling, no EGR. These are the design, these are the strategy. During idling, no EGR. EGR is cut off during low air fuel ratio. So these are the some guidelines and control strategy. When to send the EGR, how much to send the EGR, and when to cut off the EGR. Now this is a lockup table. When you do the EGR optimization, I am showing you the real field data. You see, this is the engine RPM, say 800, 1000, 1200, 1500. Suppose engine RPM are 3800, right? On the vertical scale, this is the sort of a lift. How much opening? 100 is 100% fully open. Suppose its lift is 8 millimeter. So 100% means 8 millimeter will open. 50% means 4 millimeter will open. And here you can set a value in between. So you can find out points in between. कितनी स्पीड पे आपको कितनी पल्स विड्थ या कितनी लिफ्ट रखनी, that you can optimize with these tables. And this calibration engineer do this. He will change the value, he will see the emissions, he will note down the power, he will note down the torque, he will check the fuel consumption, he will check the oil consumption, and then he will decide this is the best suitable for him. So you can see how many points are there. At every point he has to optimize this value. Now we come to the new technology. अभी तक जो मैंने बताया आपको, those type are poppet type EGR valve, मतलब जैसे इंजन के वाल्व्स खुलते बंद होते हैं ऐसे हैं, लेकिन उनमें क्या है, स्टिकिंग प्रॉब्लम आ जाती है, बिकॉज एग्जॉस्ट गैसेज आर हैविंग स्मोक, हाइड्रोकार्बन्स, गम आल्सो, so after some time they stick, they are not working. Then what to do? It means this is a new technology which will come in Euro 5. In this valve is like a throttle valve. You see? So this gives the self-cleaning action. Because this is not poppet type. So when the smoke is come, so the valve is like this, so nothing will deposit on that. Then, you know, when you are designing this valve may take 2 years. Speaking may take few seconds. Okay, develop this valve, and then testing each and every part, how much to open, what. Even first you think what should be the size of this, what should be the diameter of this, what type of material I use, how I drive it, how I open it, what is the mechanism, gear ratio in this, then what is the selection of the motor, then ECU will send the current. It is a complete, very complex. We agree that EGR technology is good for NOx reduction. It is proven. But again, for everything there is a penalty. Now what is the disadvantage of EGR? Let me discuss that. Engine oil consumption is a concern, because when EGR is coming, you are not filtering the EGR, so all the PM and all that, they are going back to the combustion chamber, and then oil deterioration is more faster, wear and tear is more. When you are using a EGR, the life of the engine is reduced by 10 to 12%, 15%. हाँ, wear and tear ना more. हाँ, kilometer, it depends upon engine to engine, but generally 200,000 kilometer expected life. हाँ, कार के इंजन की, हाँ, और ट्रक और बसेस के इंजन की एक्सपेक्टेड लाइफ 400,000 किलोमीटर. कोई कार के जो इंजन है, दे आर हाई स्पीड इंजन, तो देयर वियर एंड टीयर इज मोर. बसेस इंजन आर लो स्पीड इंजन, देयर लाइफ इज मोर. BSFC also increased, brake specific fuel consumption. Engine wear and tear increases with the EGR rate. Higher the EGR rate, more the penalty. That's why another thing you can note down, the minimum EGR rate which we want, that may be around 7%, and maximum you can go up to 20%, not more than 20%. This is, if you will use more than 20%, then there is a more severe penalty. You are spoiling the engine, you are spoiling the BSFC, power, torque, everything. So as a thumb rule, we can play more safer is 10 to 12%. So it means, with this background, we understand that for NOx reduction, EGR is the technology. If we want to reduce the NOx much more, we use cold EGR. EGR is passed through a cooler, and that is temperature is reduced by around 180 degrees Celsius. Then to control, we have different type of EGR valve: pneumatic type, poppet type, electrical type, on-off type, and duty type. Right? Then new concept which is coming, motorized EGR, which I have a butterfly type valve. Why they are beneficial? Because of the jamming. They can avoid. They are self-cleaning system. Clear now? About NOx it is clear. So we have EGR technology to reduce the NOx, and you can reduce significantly with this EGR technology. And this is for car starting from 800 cc to up to 4 liter engine, this is the suitable technology.